Okay, so this is a video showing a very quick way to change the servo. In this instance, it's going to be the bait release servo without taking the entire panel out. If you wanted to do that, you could. There is a video showing you how to remove the panel, but if you want to do a very quick job, this is the way you would go. Alright, so starting, you take out the 4 screws, which I've already taken the liberty of doing. The 4 screws out of the panel, take the cover off, and we basically have to get the servo lead back into its position in that board, which I'll show you shortly. Okay, so this servo wire is coming from here and it's arriving at the servo reverser, which unfortunately is stuck down there. So for this particular video, we won't be changing the reverser, only the servo. And if the servo is faulty and it then starts to work, well, then we didn't have to change the reverser anyway. If we do have to change that, we'll make a second video for that. To get to that, ideally, you're just going to basically peel your autopilot on this one side. It's basically just got a drop of glue. All right, so we're going to peel this off on this one side and just lift it off the foam like that, slightly, so we can move it aside. And located there is the servo reverser, which is also where the lead from this servo plugs in. Alright, so to get to it, you have to lift it up slightly like that, and then you're going to pull this lead out. This is the lead. Note the color, brown is on the right, matches the one below it. So the color on the left is yellow or orange, red is center, brown is on the right. So in essence, you will then pull that out. Okay, once you've got that out like that, okay. So this is going to come out of a hole in the front or in the back of the panel like that, but we'll get to that once I've removed the servo. Okay, so we're going to remove the 4 screws around the servo. Okay, and that one there. I actually have started by taking off the arm first, because now I won't have support, but it's okay. Basically loosen the little screw, take the arm off. Okay, just wiggle that. It's on a spline, so you've got to wiggle it a little bit. Okay, and now that screw out. There's not very much I can do with this because it's the shape that it is. Okay, now you would lift the servo front first. Okay, and now you'll see there's a cable going. It's going forward. The cable on the inside, this is actually quite a long cable, so we've put the little fold inside or underneath of the panel, but it doesn't really matter. You'll do yours on the inside. So essentially just push this there, so it comes through the hole, work it through the hole, like that. Right, and now you can see what we've done. We've made a little loop like that. We've kept the wire on the outside. We can pull this all the way out. Right, so now you've taken it out, and imagine now this was your... Now we are putting in the new servo. We start by putting the cable into the boat. Now you can see it's got a very long cable, like that. And what you do is you put in the back side first. Okay, ideally you want to put some tape just to keep the wire on the side of the servo. Drop that inside. Make sure the wire's the cable inside. Then drop that in from the back like that. Oh, that's going to be... Sorry. Alright, so it's the wire that was causing me some problem. Now, obviously, we tape the wire when we have the panel upside down. But what you can do is maybe just put it underneath like that. Okay, so tape it there. So that when you can put this through, pull the wire into the boat, and then get the front. Oh, sorry, you've got to get the back end in first. And now there's no wire impeding you. Drop it down. Okay, so now we've got the wire in the boat, and for the quickness of the job, you're basically going to put that through the hole. Okay, so now I've got it through the little hole. Pull the cable forward. What you can do is easiest part is just to push that forward in there like that, but let's worry about the wire just now. So we'll start by putting the 4 screws back. Okay, so importantly, when you tighten these screws, you basically just let them touch the little rubber ring. must hardly deform them. It must be mounted on rubber. So just when it touches the rubber, that's exactly as tight as you make them. You don't squeeze them so the rubber bulges out. Right, now with the battery installed in the boat, you put the boat on, you put the radio on, you make sure that's in the up position, that's in neutral, basically the boat's on. In other words, if I were to activate the bait release now, it should, oh sorry, it's not plugged in. So okay, we're going to go down to the part where we have to plug this in. So position that in there. Screwdriver. Plug that home. Alright, now if I activate the bait release, the little servo is moving. It's important, very, very important, that you only position this arm with the boat on, everything is ready, set to work, and you bring this down to the point where this, because it's a spline, you bring it to the point where this is not working, pressing too hard against there, just where it's free. It's just free of the edge, like that. See, it's just free of the edge. You drop it down into that position, so that when I move it, it slides that away, like so. That one, perfect. Actually, it may be, and then you can actually check your tray. So if the tray doesn't open, it opens perfectly. So that's enough of a throw. If it doesn't open exactly, if it still doesn't open, you can slide this off again, move it one spline over, like so, push it down there, and that should definitely open your tray now. We can check it. There we go. And with that down, that's perfect. Right, so that is how you would set it. First try it with the arm at 1 o'clock, and then if it doesn't work exactly right, you can move it over one spline. Are we happy with that? Now we will take our little screw, which has disappeared. There we go. Okay, now I'll lock that into place. Okay, arms back where it should be, servos back where it should be. Alright, so because you haven't lifted the panel, which has possibly saved you a fair amount of time and effort, what you can do is you can just move this cable and find a place to hook it against anything on the inside. And if you want to, you can then make a little loom on the inside of the boat, or a little bow like that, and use a cable tie to keep it all together. So something like that, just to keep it a little neat. And then obviously you have to bring this. Now what you do is you put a spot of glue there. We use a thick super glue. It's not runny super glue, it's gel super glue. And you bring it down to roughly the position that you were in. You'll see it should seat more or less where it was. Put a drop of that thick super glue, hold it there for a moment, just one drop. That's all you want. It's on rubber, but you only want one drop on the foam below. And then just find the position and lock it down like that. And that's it. If we have to ever change, if it's necessary to change the servo reverser, I'll make a second video for that. But that's the replacement of the servo. Okay, so one last thing. When you put this black cover back on and you tighten the screw down, you don't over tighten it. Again, you just take it down, holding it down with your finger till it's flat, and you just take the screwdriver and you just nip it up. Don't overdo it. Once it's tight like that, that's it. Just with finger tight. For reason being, there's a cavity between the plate and the box, and if you over tighten this, you could break the screw right through the flap. Then you have a big hole there, and your screws won't catch it all. So you just bring it down loose and just till it's firm, and you do exactly the same on all four, making sure that's coming through the center like that. And that's the job. Hopefully that can